Hello everyone, glad to be back. Today is 1st of October, Sunday, so I hope you have a great day and a great weekend. Now it's 10 to 9 in the morning Moscow time. I'm Levan Gudadze and this is my first update for the day, in which I will share all the main news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets and Russian language pages on different internet platforms. Second update will be a little bit late during the live stream, which I will start somewhere around 4 or 5 o'clock, and I hope you will find time to join the conversation. During the live stream I will share additional news that will be reported by Russian media, and of course I will answer to questions from members of our community. Main topics obviously gonna be Ukraine and the situation around Nagorno Karabakh and the entire Southern Caucasus region. That's been said, let's talk about news now, and I will start with short summary of the situation on Ukrainian battlefield. First of all, let me share with you information about night strikes of Russian armed forces on military and logistical infrastructure of Kiev regime, and this morning I did already share information on my Telegram that according to reports from a number of sources, last night the Russian armed forces launched missile and drone strikes on military and logistics infrastructure of Zelensky's regime in a number of directions, including Kiev, Sumy, Chernihiv, Cherkasy, Kharkov, Dnipropetrovsk, Kryvyi Rog, Zaporozhye, Nikolaev and Odessa. During the day, Russian Defense Ministry will probably provide public with additional information, and of course I will share that news on Telegram and during the live stream in the afternoon. When it comes to situation on the contact line or on the sectors of the front line, according to reports from Russian media and Russian military pages, there is no significant changes on any of the sectors of the front that will influence overall situation in immediate future. It's artillery duels between the sides, mainly reckoning force operations and constant struggle to improve current positions, and of course drone wars, in which Russian side does has upper hand, as I said in previous update, mainly because Russian radio electronic warfare system is just better than ones that Ukrainian side was provided by NATO member states, and as a result successful strikes of Russian drones are significantly higher than Ukrainian drone strikes. When it comes to situation sector by sector, Kherson sector is, as I said, mainly artillery duels and recon operations. Ukrainian forces are trying to establish bridgeheads on the left bank of the Dnieper River. Somewhat successfully, one may say, because small groups of Ukrainian forces still are managing to cross Dnieper River and enter left bank, or at least hold on to some positions on these small islands in the Dnieper and the Dnieper Delta. But overall situation is deadlock, I will say, and if in next several days Kiev regime will not start significant activity in this direction, or if Kiev regime would not attempt to mass cross Dnieper River, then I guess a window of opportunity for Ukrainian forces will shut down because of weather conditions, and in that case at least before next spring there will be no significant activities in Kherson direction that will influence situation in this sector, and same goes for Zaporozhye and South Donetsk sectors of the front line. If Kiev regime is unable to pull off second wave of counteroffensive, during the which probably this mass crossing of Dnieper River will take place, if Kiev regime would not be able to pull off this second wave of counteroffensive in next several days, by the way, then probably it will be Russian side that will conduct offensive operations in especially in Zaporozhye sector of the front line to cut off and neutralize Ukrainian grouping of forces in Orekhov bridgehead. And of course, it's highly likely that Russian side will conduct offensive operation in southern flanks of Donetsk sector and in South Donetsk sector to cut off this salient here that is held by Ukrainian forces from Avdiivka to Ugledar, and maybe even Vremevsky, the so-called Vremevsky salient. So time is running out for Kiev regime, and step by step we will probably see significant activities of Russian armed forces on the southern sectors of the front line. But right now, I will call situation operational pause or deadlock. I did saw yesterday's report of Russian Defense Ministry about previous 24 hours, and in South Donetsk direction and Orekhov direction, by the way, activity was very low from both sides, and that may be indicator that Kiev regime, despite all the attempts, will probably be unable to conduct or pull off this second wave of counteroffensive, because they just don't have enough manpower and military equipment at this point to begin active offensive operations and have at least slight hope for success. So me personally, my reading of the big picture is that Ukrainian, the so-called counteroffensive, has already ended, and there will be no second wave of counteroffensive. And well, one may say this counteroffensive ended abysmally or catastrophically for Kiev regime and the military forces of Ukraine. I will go even further than that, and I will say that we are now seeing beginning of the end of Ukrainian armed forces as a more or less capable entity, and it will become obvious for everyone once Russian forces will neutralize Ukrainian grouping of forces in Orekhov bridgehead, which may happen in next several weeks. And when it comes to central and northern sectors of the front line, we all know that Bakhmut direction was significantly active in previous months, but right now, despite attempts from Ukrainian forces to continue their local scale offensives in the southern flank of Bakhmut, they are unable to achieve anything. And when it comes to a northern flank of Bakhmut, despite expectations of some military experts that Ukrainian side will begin their local offensive operations in the northern flank of Bakhmut, we did see exactly the opposite, and it's Russian side that are conducting offensives, local scale offensives, by the way. And as a result of it, just recently, Dubovo-Vasilievka, the settlement, did become under full Russian control. And when it comes to northern sectors, from Seversk up to Kupiansk and the entire Kharkov region, as always, there is only one question: when Russian large-scale offensive will begin. Will it happen this autumn, which is possible, or will it take place during the winter? And because lately Russian armed forces destroyed almost all crossings on Oskol River, which is here, by the way, this is Oskol River, and which is basically going almost all along this line of contact on the northern sectors. One may say that this destruction of crossings or bridges on Oskol is quite a good indicator that Russian side will conduct offensive operations in northern sectors, especially in direction of Kupiansk, before winter begins during the next few weeks. So let's see how will it turn out. It's a possibility, although I'm quite skeptical that any of the sides, Russian or Ukrainian, will conduct any large-scale offensive operations before winter, because according to weather forecast from today weather will change dramatically. It's one may say rainy season has begun, and it will of course have a significant influence on conditions on the ground, and it will be destructive force on its own, not just for Ukrainian side but also for Russian side. And this morning, by the way, for example, I did share this video, and just look at this, I mean, so-called road. I mean, how you gonna call road that river of mud? And you can see that some armored vehicles already are struggling to move in this condition. And just imagine what will happen when rainy season will become in full force. But anyway, this is it when it comes to short summary of the situation on the battlefield. As I said, no significant changes, no breakthroughs. It's a daily routine, really. Artillery duels between the sides and reckoning force operations, and both sides are preparing some offensive operations. When it comes to Ukrainian side, I am skeptical. I don't believe they will be able to pull off any offensive operations. But when it comes to Russian side, I did see slight chance that in next several weeks Russian forces will become significantly active excuse me, all along the front line, not just in the northern sector but also in the southern sectors of the front line, especially before rainy season will become will take full force or shape. Anyway, let me continue now. And RIA Novosti is reporting that there was a sound of big explosion in Kiev during the night, and then fire erupted in area where that explosion did take place. No information, no detailed information what has happened. Was it a Russian missile strike or something else? But because during the night Russian side conducted drone and missile strikes, it's a possibility that maybe some Russian drones or missiles did strike logistical or military infrastructure in Kiev. There was such reports on some channels, and also RIA Novosti is reporting that Russian Iskander missile destroyed the Ukrainian military echelon train with military equipment. Lately we see significant increase of Russian strikes in direction of these military trains of Ukrainian side, which also may be indicator that Russia is preparing some offensive operations. And before this offensive begins, General Staff of Russian Armed Forces want to make sure that logistics of Ukrainian Armed Forces are distracted significantly. And well, let's continue. This is very interesting news, by the way, very interesting news. RT is reporting that former president of Russia and current deputy chairman of Security Council, Dmitry Medvedev, did made yet another interesting statement. And this time he said that Russia will liberate more Ukrainian regions. And well, the military operation in Ukraine will continue until historic Russian territories are freed, said Medvedev. I have no doubts about it. For me personally, this statement is no surprise at all. I said many times before that in my reading of big picture, once this conflict will end, Russia will control vast majority of Ukrainian territory, and not some NATO member states will be in control of western regions of Ukraine, and this failed state will be disintegrated completely, and there will be no more Ukrainian political map. But some may take my reading of big picture with skepticism. Why not? After all, I mean, I may be mistaken, isn't it? Anything is possible. But well, this statement of Dmitry Medvedev at least reinforces my reading of big picture that Moscow do have some plans to establish control over the entire Ukraine, with the exception of western regions, because that's what historical Russian territories are, really. And I remind you that Kiev, by the way, was the capital of first Russian kingdom, Kievan Rus, isn't it? Which basically united all city-states, all Russian city-states, and eventually did give birth to modern Russia, and Kiev called in Russia mother of all Russian cities. So very interesting statement from Medvedev that, at least in my understanding, definitely reinforces my reading of big picture that Ukraine will be divided between its neighbors after this conflict will end. And by the way, also very interesting statement, but this time from Defense Minister of UK. RIA Novosti and all other Russian media outlets do report about statement that Grant Shapps made new defense minister of United Kingdom, and according to him, and this is reported by Telegraph, by the way, initially a British media outlet, and well, according to information that RIA Novosti is providing, United Kingdom is considering to send its military personnel into Ukraine as instructors, formally as instructors, but well, in reality, we all know that United Kingdom's military already are heavily involved in this conflict. Also, United Kingdom's secret services, all drone operations on the Black Sea area and all the missile strikes, for example, are conducted under 100% control of UK's secret services and militaries. And the recent strikes of Russian armed forces in Nikolaev and Odessa directions, I guess, eliminated significant number of Ukraine's military personnel, not Ukraine's, but not just Ukraine's, but also United Kingdom's military personnel, high-ranking officers of not just army, but also secret services of UK, and they may be mad in London. They may want some retaliation, and they are coming up with such statements now that they will send UK's military to Ukraine as instructors. Okay, bring it on. I mean, it will take only 1 or 2 strikes from Russian Kinzhals, and this, I don't know, a few dozens or a few hundreds of UK's militaries will go back to UK in body bags. That's how it's gonna be. And before it's not too late, UK society should wake up. UK society should wake up and begin asking questions what they lost in Ukraine, why they are involved, why their country are so heavily invested in this conflict, and where is the interests of ordinary British citizens in all of this, because there is none. So very interesting and dangerous statements from UK, from London. Let's see how the situation develops. One may take this statement also as a beginning of Western occupation of Western regions of Ukraine, because I'm quite sure if London will detach some several hundred, let's say, military personnel of UK towards Ukraine, these British militaries will stay mainly in the western regions of that country. But yet again, Russian Kinzhals can take them out just anywhere on the map of Ukraine. They're not gonna be safe anywhere. Let's continue. TASS news agencies reporting that U.S. Congress and Senate did approve a new permanent, let's say, project of financing the government, and in this package, in this deal that was brought between Democrats and Republicans, there is no money for Ukraine, which is surprising. By the way. And I did read this morning some articles that Biden did comment on this development, and he said that money supply to Kiev regime's not supposed to be distracted, and it seems like White House is not really happy with this decision, but they will find ways to send some additional hundreds of millions of dollars to Zelensky and his associates, or probably even billions. Who knows, maybe tomorrow head of Pentagon will come out and say once again that, oh, there was some mistake in calculations, and they did find out that they have additional like 5 or 10 billion dollars that can be used for Kiev regime, which they did, by the way, previously, and probably all of you do remember that story. When Pentagon come up with such a crazy statement that they had some error in calculations, and then that they find out that they have some additional billions to be sent to Kiev, which is crazy. But that's a level of current administration of US. That's it. But let's continue. TASS news agency is reporting that, well, this is very, very significant. More than 100,000 civilians already left Nagorno-Karabakh and are in Armenia now, and I'm afraid this number will increase even more, and eventually only several hundred or maybe several thousand Armenians will remain in Nagorno-Karabakh, because majority of Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh, of course, are afraid for their security. They cannot trust, and they are not trusting government of Azerbaijan. Although Aliyev, by the way, president of Azerbaijan, did make statement and guaranteed security and protection of all the rights of Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh. But because there is a huge gap between the sides, and there is no trust of each other, it's not surprising that vast majority of Armenians are making decision to flee Nagorno-Karabakh. It's already 100,000 people left that region. RIA Novosti is reporting also that in Slovakia, by the way, some initial results of parliamentary elections have become available, and according to data that we have right now, 25.82% of votes have been given to Smer party, which is an opposition party, by the way, and as I understand, this party is not very keen to continue escalation with Russia and continue military and financial support of Zelensky and his associates. Well, if this party becomes a ruling party in Slovakia, then we may see some change in politics of this state. For today afternoon, we will have official numbers, official results of elections, and well, let's see how the situation develop. I would not be surprised if there will be a change of government in Slovakia and change of foreign policy. especially when it comes to relationships with Russia and Ukraine. But anyway, let's continue. RT is reporting that, Robert Kennedy Jr. is may become a presidential, independent presidential candidate in US, and according to reports, not just in Russian media but in US media, Kennedy already made some plans to run as a third party candidate, which is in my understanding, if Kennedy will make such a decision, this will once again highlight how corrupt a Democratic Party is, because Kennedy is the most popular candidate among Democrats, as I understand. Definitely significantly better candidate than Biden is, or any other. But we all remember this story when Democratic Party basically sabotaged Bernie Sanders and his chances to be main candidate of party. And very same will happen with Kennedy, even if he is supported by majority of Democratic electorate of Democrats. He will be sabotaged. So maybe this is a right decision to be a third party candidate or independent, but same time this means that Kennedy will never be elected as a president. But he may have a good run. He may definitely have a good run. Let's see how will situation develop. And next information is also reported by RT. German energy giant admits it's probably still buying Russian gas. Well, what a surprise, isn't it? And let me read a few sentences. So, Russian supplies of liquefied natural gas, LNG, may still be shipped to German terminals despite pledges by energy major Uniper, according to its chief executive Michael Lewis. Russia keeps selling LNG to the world market, he said on Saturday in the interview with Germany's I'm not gonna pronounce name of this newspaper. And well, according to him, the wholesalers, including Uniper, do not always know the origin of the purchased gas. Well, and this company, by the way, had tremendous losses during the previous year because they formally did cut ties with Russia. And when I say tremendous losses, I mean really big losses, like 19 billion euros. So I will not be surprised if they buy Russian gas through third parties to somehow make up for the losses. But yet again, that's what is happening when politics are dictating business what to do and how to do it. Business in that case begins to struggle, even giants like this German company. But anyway, let's continue. RT is reporting that Russian bank tops European finance brand ratings, which is quite interesting because well, let me read. A Russian state-run lender, Sber, formerly Sberbank, has won the title of strongest brand among European financial institutions, according to latest issue of the annual Brand Finance Europe 500 rating. The London-based consultancy Brand Finance puts 5,000 of the biggest names to the test, and publishes over 100 reports ranking firms across all sectors and countries. The world's top 500 most valuable and strongest European brands are featured in the annual Europe 500 2023 ranking, and the strength of brands is based on marketing, investment, stakeholder equity, and business performance, and shows how effectively a company invests, develops brand awareness, takes care of its reputation, and establishes customer loyalty, and how successfully it operates its business. And well, Russian Sberbank, or Sber, is on 4th place, by the way, after HSBC, Santander, and Barclays, these giants of European banking and financial system. Sber is 4th after these three, which is quite a result in my understanding, isn't it? Because I was surprised to see Sber in the first top 5 banks of Europe, which is a great achievement for Russian bank, for sure. I need to open an account in Sber, man. I don't have one in this bank. I have in other banks. Let's continue. And well, RT is also reporting that oil prices score major third quarter rise, and spike of nearly 30% is attributed to high demand recorded from July through September. And of course, a significant part did play in rising prices, fact that Russia, Saudi Arabia, and other OPEC plus countries are cutting significantly oil exports, and this way they are trying to keep prices in acceptable level. And well, I expect if not in this year, next year oil prices will reach $100 and probably even go higher, especially if Chinese economy will come out from sleep, because at least for now it seems like Chinese economy is not yet fully recovered from shutdowns and so on. That was done because of that pandemic and stuff. And once Chinese economy will wake up, then I guess oil demand will increase even more, and therefore prices on oil also. And well, this is gonna be last news for today's update. Little bit of science. So China unveils its moon plans, and well, according to Chinese space program in 2024, space mission will take place towards moon, and the Chinese scientists will try to bring to the Earth samples of the lunar ground from other side of moon, from dark side of moon. Well, Chinese definitely are making huge steps in space, in development of space programs, especially last 15 years. And well, good luck to Chinese scientists. Any success of any country when it comes to space exploration and science in general is an achievement for all of humanity. So I can wish only success to all the scientists, really. Chinese, Russian, US, European, whoever. Indian, by the way. India does also a great job when it comes to development of its space programs. So, well, let's see. And this is it, by the way, for today's update. Let's see how long is this. video. Quite short update, only 35 minutes, which is good. I remind you that today, somewhere around 4 or 5 o'clock, I will have a live stream, and I will share additional news that will be reported by Russian media, and also we can have friendly chat in real time. I hope you will find the time to join the conversation. And well, if you find this update interesting, please click that like button, leave some commentary about any topic you find interesting, and if you can, please share links to my videos or my channel with your friends or any of the platforms that you are active on. And if you think this project, this channel is interesting, useful, has some potential, and deserves to exist in this field of news and political commentary, please consider to support with small donations through PayPal, buy me a coffee, or by subscribing to my Patreon page. You will see links under this video in the description box or in the pinned comment. This is it for now. Have a great day and take care.